Welcome to cleveland.com. Cavs just finished up their annual Wine and Gold Scrimmage. 16,723 in attendance for the return of LeBron James, really the debut of the Big Three, Chris Fedor, Joe Vardon, Chris Haynes, as we recap this one. Final score, Chris, it doesn't matter. Whatever it was, they were switching guys. They only played 3 full 12-minute quarters, but the atmosphere around this one made it seem much bigger than just a scrimmage.
It definitely felt like it was a simulated game. You talk about the electricity and LeBron James coming back inside this arena for the first time since returning to be a Cavalier. You just felt like this whole crowd and this arena was just waiting to erupt as soon as LeBron James did something spectacular. And he didn't make him wait long. He got to it quick with a curl dunk. Yeah. And so they're definitely going to see a lot of that. And this city is definitely excited. You can tell that tonight.
Joe, LeBron scored the first 5 points of the game, started with a 3-pointer, then a dunk, just vintage LeBron stuff, nice and early.
Isn't it, though? And I mean, I don't even know what the score was tonight, and that's just not important. I mean,
doesn't matter.
What was important was, I think, for the 16,723 to see number 23 in the wine and gold. I mean, we've all been over it 100 times since he decided to come back in July. But to actually see him out here on the floor playing for the Cavs, I mean, that hasn't happened since May of 2010. It's been a long time. A lot has happened. And so, you know, people throughout the audience tonight, they're talking about this being a surreal moment. For a practice, I really think it was.
Chris, is amazing because LeBron mentioned in the locker room after the game, he didn't even hear his name introed. He didn't even hear what it sounded like because the screams were so loud for LeBron.
Yeah, and I think it shows that he's tuned in. You know, this guy is not letting the atmosphere, the elements get to him. He's been there, done that. He said it multiple times throughout the course of the week. There's nothing in this league that he hasn't seen, nothing that he hasn't experienced. So right now, he's just focused. I think everybody else right now is just so excited to see him back. Yeah. I don't necessarily think he's all that excited, or I think that excitement has left when he first initially signed with Cleveland. So he's ready, man. It's going to be a scary sight for the league because you can see it's contagious. His team is rubbing onto the team. So look out for those guys.
Chris, when they started to actually play, after all the hoopla, and they finally played, we kind of wondered, okay, who's going to be the starting 5 for this team? And for this scrimmage, just this scrimmage, there's a lot more time before the regular season starts. It was Tristan Thompson at center, not Anderson Varejao.
And I like what I've seen from Tristan Thompson because he's an athletic big. Yes, he's going to be undersized at the center spot, but let's keep in mind, this is 2014. There's no real centers in the league anymore. Right. So he's going to be somebody who is going to be able to outrun and get out in transition. And we also saw Kevin Love, man. That guy, he don't have to make an impact on the scoring. He can make an impact with his outlet passes, man. He probably has the best receiving core he's ever had in his NBA career in LeBron James, Deion Waiters, Kyrie Irving. You add Tristan Thompson, who, if he's starting every single night, he's going to be able to outrun his opposition. So it's definitely going to be a sight to see. This team, they look good. I know it's scrimmage. I know they're playing against themselves. But what I see right now, they look good.
To put it in perspective, folks, last year's Wine and Gold Scrimmage, it was at Baldwin-Wallace College. It ended early because they didn't have air conditioning inside the arena, and there was too much perspiration on the court. They had leftover pizza there at the concessions because they were expecting to sell it for about 30, 45 more minutes. I left with a large pizza myself because they were just handing out pizza. Yeah. Here tonight, it was like a regular season game. I remember the atmosphere surrounding Miami Heat coming back, and I also remember what it was like when the Cavs played against the Milwaukee Bucks and the Detroit Pistons. There was more excitement tonight, Joe, for this scrimmage, a glorified practice, than there were for some regular season games last year.
The city is about to erupt. I mean, LeBron said the other day he's not sure if he's going to do this yet, but I have a feeling he will. Come October 30th, he's going to come up to the scorer's table, which is where we are right now, and he's going to pour that powder in his hand, and he's going to throw it up like this. And
is he going to look like that?
I don't know what's going to happen next.
I think it's going to be a little bit more graceful.
The city is on the precipice. The team is on the precipice of something really special. And it was a practice. It doesn't count, but you could just feel it. And I hope we're doing a good enough job explaining to the audience what it was like in here, because if you were here, to a man, to a woman, you could feel what was going on in the building.
Chris, it's amazing because if you go back to the scrimmage last year, I don't know, they went like 4 minutes without making a jump shot. tonight you could see why they went out. They brought in a guy like Mike Miller, James Jones. There are now shooters surrounding LeBron James, and that wasn't always the case the first time LeBron was here in Cleveland.
Yeah, and I don't think you're going to see that a duplication of that again. I think you have to put blindfolds on these group of guys in order for them to go 4 minutes without making a shot, because they got shooters. You look at Mike Miller, who played on the opposite team, but he was still getting his shot off, and teammates were setting him up. He still has that quick release. And so then you add him with the equation. He didn't play a lot with LeBron James. He didn't play a lot with Kyrie Irving. And one thing, I'm going to get off track, but you see that Kyrie crossover, man? Left Deli over there on that rock. I know Deli is a beloved figure, but God, he was left in his tracks from that Kyrie Irving crossover. So, man, this team is scary, man. It's going to be unbelievable to watch, and I really do think, I'm not, just trying to puff up smoke. I really do think they're going to play well together. I'm talking about those core 3 guys, because they're unselfish players and they're willing to make the extra pass to get guys open. And when you do that, it gets contagious, and the whole team starts to fall in line with that.
Chris, it's interesting that you bring up Kyrie, because he was one of 4 players in double figures tonight. He had 10 points, but it was the ball handling, it was trying to get other guys involved, it was getting into the teeth of the defense. The one thing that we know about Kyrie is that when he's surrounded by stars, he shines the brightest.
And he definitely showed that. And right now, him, along with Kevin Love, they're going to be able to prove that, hey, yes, I was on a losing team years prior, but hey, I can take my game to that level when I'm surrounded by a great group of cast. And that's definitely what he has. And he has some emerging guys in Deion Waiters and Tristan Thompson who's getting better. They're in their prime. So the sky's the limit for this team.
Next up for the Cavs, they'll be right back here at Quicken Loans Arena. They've got their first preseason game. It's Sunday. Continue to go to cleveland.com/Cavs as we recap this one. A special night here as LeBron James made his return to the Q. Keep it right here, cleveland.com/Cavs.